everyone, I hope you're doing very well. It's been a little while, almost a week since I last uploaded a video. Sorry about that. Just have been having a bit of a hectic schedule, but I wanted to actually finish off what we started discussing last time. So as I mentioned last time, it was a topic that was proposed to me by my patron over at Patreon, Robin Kraft, and he wanted to know my thoughts about married couples with big age differences. So I thought it was a bit of a long discussion, and I do not actually want to keep long videos for this channel. And I only did once, and I think it was very long, the one before the last. And so I just try to keep it about 15 minutes max, so it's easier for you to just listen and then finish it off as well. So last time we discussed about an old gentleman and a very young wife. But today I wanted to discuss an older lady and a young gent. So before I move on to the topic, I just wanted to let you know, thank you all of you who have tuned in. It's a very small channel, so I appreciate your views here and then your comments and your thoughts as well. So thank you very much for being here. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment of your thoughts. What do you think? You may have experiences this way and you may have thoughts differently as well. So leave a comment as well. And if you would like to support the channel, you can of course go over to Patreon. We have a few patrons over there, so you can join there and propose topics for us to discuss in the coming weeks as well. So moving on for today's one, older lady, younger gent. Before I go on to today's discussion, I want to tell you I'm going to look at this in such a perspective that I have an experience seeing a couple who has a big age gap, who's an older lady and a younger gent, and who is in my immediate family. The lady is 12 years older to the gent, so that's where we begin. And so I'm not going to generalize everything that I see depending on their relationship, but I take cues from what happened there and maybe the reasons that I see why they got into such kind of a relationship as well. So let's talk about just the same format that we had from the previous discussion. I just want to share a few expectations or maybe the reasons why an older lady now is going for the younger gent. So from the ladies' end, I think one of the few key things that I have seen is that most of them have been in relationships previously, right? And most of them actually have been in a relationship with a partner who's around the same age as themselves, maybe even older to them. So I think at times I've noticed that those ladies who have finished off those kind of relationship and move on to have a relationship with a younger man is doing that because they have had a situation in the past relationship where they have felt powerless at times, right? I have seen this. This is something that I have witnessed and actually analyzed, seen certain relationships that I know, and they have felt powerless. Maybe it can be from the fact of feeling inadequate. Could be financially, could be knowledge-wise, could be in many ways. So when they have been going through that, so you develop this lower self-esteem, and most of the time relationship stops not because they are very happy with each other, right? A relationship doesn't stop because they are so happy with each other, because it doesn't work. That's where it stops. So I think as a way of compensating for the low self-esteem that they have felt, and also they want to have the power over a partner because they have been feeling suppressed in their previous relationship. So that's when these ladies feel more comfortable going for someone younger, because then they feel their maturity can actually give them the power over them in the relationship. It's just that sense of security that they feel that they will not be suppressed again. That is what I feel. But in along with it, I just want to share with you another one that I have seen in these kind of relationships is this lady may have actually have been in an abusive relationship before. So she had an abusive partner, been physically abusive, sexually abusive, verbally abusive, emotionally abusive, so many things that can happen. So sometimes I have noticed, at least for the relationship that I've seen, like I mentioned, who's in my immediate family, the lady went for that just because she was in a physically, mentally, emotionally, and sexually abusive relationship. So she had never worked before, but luckily she inherited a lot of money. So that way she had that financial power, and at the same time she wanted someone who would be there for her and take care of her, uh, and not overpower her, right? So that is another expectation and a reason why I see these older ladies go for a younger gent. And like I mentioned, it's one of the other key reasons is when you're older lady, and maybe you have had children, you have gone through that huge changes in your life, and you're going for a younger person because you have that assurance this person will be there to take care of you in your old age. There is someone to be there for you. And sometimes even if you do not have children from a previous relationship or so on, I think women usually like to have that assurance of someone there to take care of you. I think we all do, actually, men and women, but women need that assurance a lot more. I think at least in the environment that I live, women feel the need of such an assurance. So I think it helps in this kind of a relationship as well, because if it is an old agent, the chances are he may need your support a lot more often than you would need his. Not always, definitely not always, but it can happen as well. Then looking at the gents side, from a young man, why would he go for an older woman? One of the key things is some young men actually feel attracted to mature women. They do not like women who are younger. They find it annoying sometimes. Maybe they can't put up with the immaturity, or they do not feel the same way for the other, actually the other topic that we discussed the last time. Some young women feel attracted to older men. Similarly, young men feel attracted to older women because of their maturity, because they are more established. And some young men, they like to have someone guide them through life and then take the front seat so they can actually take a back seat. In most of the relationships, we expect, okay, do not blame me, because I know in the the westernized world that we say, oh, men and women all both the same, they have everything equally, blah blah blah. But no, the majority of the time, there is an expectation for the man to take the front seat of things in life. So, but some men feel a lot more comfortable taking the back seat and letting the woman take the front seat. And then for naturally, when it is an older lady, they feel even more comfortable doing that way. So I think it is another reason why, it is one of the reasons why a younger man feel attracted to a mature lady. And it can be actually physical attraction, and at the same time, obviously, like I said, the emotional maturity as well can be quite an attractive part for a younger man. And again, similar to the other one, the previous topic that we had is obviously some people like the financial support. So it naturally happens, I think, when it is the older partner in the relationship seem to carry a heavy weight when it comes to the finances. And it doesn't happen when you do not have that much of a big age gap. But if there is if there is a significant age gap, then the younger partner get to just slack a bit and relax. So this can be another expectation and a reason why a young man feel attracted to an older lady. Maybe he doesn't want to take that kind of responsibility. Like I said, it's again just wants to take a backseat in life. it's okay. It's up to you, each of your own, right? If that makes you happy, then that's what it is. I think there are two stereotypes when it comes to these kind of relationships. The major, actually, it's one. The two, for the two parties, it's like when you have a older lady and a very young man, there is this like sugar mommy and this little boy kind of relationship. That is what everybody thinks it is. The stereotype in this whole situation. I think humans like to generalize things very easily. It is we can't blame the humans as well, because majority of the time those generalizations may be done because the situation actually proves to be likewise. But it's not always that a sugar mommy or a young guy who wants someone to have someone to help him financially. So that is why they are getting into relationship. It's a lot more, like I mentioned before. There are a lot of other physical, emotional, and needs involved. I just want to highlight in the way I see it, every kind of relationship has challenges. I do not see any relationship that does not have a challenge. If somebody comes and tells me, oh, we had this perfect kind of relationship, it does not happen, because it's humans being involved, humans with emotions, they're going through normal life. You will have challenges. That is what life is, isn't it? But then in this kind of relationship, the challenges I see, actually what I have witnessed with what I have gone through in life with someone who's in the immediate family had to face. One of the major things I saw in the lady that I knew, so she got along with this partner of hers when she was 39. So the gent was 27. And then they lived very happily together for a long time. But once the women have this is the reality. As a woman, I understand it as well, is that once they reach late 40s, 50s, we hit the wall. That's the reality of it. And it can affect a woman a lot more than it can affect a man. Because in a relationship where the man is older, it does not affect him the same way it affects a woman who's in the older end. Because for women, the looks, how your body functions, how everything, it matters a lot, right? It shows your femininity, it shows your attractiveness and a lot of things. It's not, money is not everything in this kind of relationship. So I noticed one of the major challenges I saw from this lady, the rough patch she had to go through emotionally because she was growing old. It did not actually, maybe the man was not attracted to the younger women or anything like that, but in her head it was the case. She felt inadequate. The older she got, she felt inadequate physically, and she obviously, you realize you can't function the same way you did 10, 20 years ago. Right. So that's one of the major challenges that I saw from the Jensen. This was the sad reality. This lady passed away when she was 60, and the gent was only 48. It took a huge toll on him, because he was her full-time caretaker, because she actually passed away after being sick for almost 2 years. And like, it had a huge effect on him that I saw. He lost a partner when he was very young. I mean, 48 is not old. And because the lady had children before, they did not want to have children anymore, and therefore there were no more children. And then this gent was left alone without anyone at the age of 48, and he is going through a whole grieving process, and he hit 50 recently. And I think that is one of the major issues when it comes to the relationship with big age gaps. Yes, having someone who's somewhere near your age doesn't guarantee you a partner in the long term. So many things we have seen, young people becoming widowed because of their partners passing away young. So, in a normal relationship, as such, where the couple is in a age range that is nearby each other, a partner passing away is more of an exception. Whereas when you have a big age gap, I think that is more of like a life reality. Somebody who's in the older age gap actually passes away a lot earlier than a younger person. So that is one challenge that I have seen, and it's one of the major challenges that I see for these kind of relationships. Again, it goes without saying, Robin, like you asked, what do I think about these relationships with big age gaps? I think it is really individuals' need, individuals' desire, and it's totally different. I know we as a society tend to judge so many things when if we are not part of it as well. Actually, I think all these relationships can be happy, but definitely there are stereotypes. Definitely. But it even without age gaps there are stereotypes. Like we have seen ladies who may go after someone who's extremely wealthy, a man. Then the obvious stereotypes come in, right? Everywhere in the world. There are different names called for these kind of ladies in different parts of the world. But not always the reality. I think the reality depends on the people who are involved. So for me, I see expectations, many reasons, stereotypes, challenges in all of these relationships, same way it is for every other relationship. But it is interesting to actually to take a step back and look. And thank you, Robin, for asking me to do this one, because I have not really thought about this kind of a situation until what happened with the relationship that I actually related here in from my immediate family. What happened there? It was, it really gave me this kind of awakening to a thing that I wouldn't actually really think about much. I at that point I thought, no way, I'm going to do this because it matters to me to have the opportunity to spend as much time with my loved one as much as I can. But at the same time, like I said, the emotional stress the lady went through, where as she grew older, even though there wasn't as much of a credible reason for her to feel as stressed out, was, I think it was bit too much. She was being too harsh on herself. But it was not only her. I have seen situations like this where ladies actually feel inadequate because of their age and then them hitting the wall, really. So anyway, so here are my 2 cents about this whole topic. I will be back very soon with a new one that actually again has been suggested to me by one of my patrons. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Do let me know, what did you think about it? What are your thoughts? Have you had experiences this way? I'm sure you did because we all have had. So thank you very much for sticking around. And as always, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. I appreciate your support here. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Thank you. I hope you have a lovely day.